Hi, this is Tami Hewlett, and I am here to show you a new scrapbook page that I created using the Outdoor Exploration download. This is a really cute download that you can use for hiking and camping pages, so I thought it would be perfect. Most of this page is pretty easy. It's a lot of the embellishments that come with the kit, but I'm going to go over a couple of the tricky things that I did. So let me switch over to a blank page. And so the first thing we're going to do is add a photo box. So go over to your design center, add a photo box, and we're going to fill about to the 4.5 inch edge. Just put it on the side of the page and then open up your paper, and it's under the designer kits, outdoor exploration, and go down here to this the triangle paper right here. Drag that in and you'll see that the triangles come in upside down. So what you want to do is go down here to this arrow and flip them a couple times so that they're right side up, and then say OK. And then I took my opacity down, I want to say 20%, pretty far. I wanted it to be there, but not to be too overwhelming. Then what I did was go over to my punches, and depending on what triangle punches you have, I know that I have one in basics, but I didn't use that because I was uncertain if everybody else had it. So there's another one in extras that comes with the software. It's called the Petite Pennant Punch. I think it's a little farther down. Here we go. Petite Pennant Punch. And it's not an exact triangle, but you can manipulate it. So first drag it in, and you want to flip it. And then what I did was go over to my paper and kind of just try to match the shape. So I just brought it down a little bit flatter until it looked like it was the same size as the background paper. Then I came over here and made it bigger. So, and then I color filled it with soft sky and just did various opacities. For the big one that I journaled in, I think I did 40. And then there were some others where I went down to 20 or 30 for the smaller ones. There's 4 of them altogether. So I'm going to put in this one that I used for the journaling. It was pretty big. So I'll put that in there, and you can add in the others. Now, let's see. The other tricky thing that I did was for the embellishments. So what I did was I wanted to, where is that one embellishment with the little trees? It's probably going to be way at the bottom. Yep. Okay, so this is kind of small. I did increase it, and I'm hoping that it'll print out okay. I think it will. But I want to show you this. Let's say you were just trying to crop this, because I didn't really like the way the trees were layered. I wanted to overlap them. So the first one you can crop pretty well with just a square. So that one was no problem. As long as you bring up the bottom, you're not going to get this tree over here. So that one worked fine. And then I added a drop shadow. Now, what I'm going to do is copy and paste that, because now what I want to do is get the other tree. So I'm going to hit crop again, and you can see that if I go over here and I try to crop this tree out, if I get rid of this one, I'm actually going to end up cutting off some of the branch on the bottom on both sides. So I didn't like that. What I really need is some sort of a shape that kind of goes in on the sides a little bit. So I hit cancel, and this is what I did. I went to punches, add a punch, and I went to my basics and selected the square punch. And then I selected edit shape down here. And I want to change both of these sides. So I'm going to do one at a time. The first, actually adding a curve is probably the best thing to do. And what I want to do is just kind of bring it in a little bit on the sides. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So bring this up so that it's going to bring the whole side in. Let's see if this works. And then I'm going to have to give it a name. I have so many of these. I'm just going to say crop shape 10 because I don't even know what I'm up to at this point, but it'll work. Okay, once it's there, you can just delete it. We don't need it on our page. What we need to do is use it to crop. So we're going to highlight this second tree that we picked, and now this time, instead of using the square, we're going to click right here, crop shape. And I'm going to go to my users. That's where all my unusual shapes are. Go down to crop 10 and hit apply. Now, when I go in here to crop, I can use this shape and it actually works just perfect to get that tree. So that's a really handy little tool that you can use for cropping odd shapes. So that's what I did for the tree. The other tricky thing that I did was my text. So you can see that I only had, whoops, I didn't mean to move that. I meant to move my text, and my text is underneath right now. So my triangle on my page was kind of positioned like this. So I wanted to attach the text to it. Normally, if you're attaching your text to a shape, you would just click shift on both the items and then say attach to shape. But now if I do that, look at it, it goes upside down. It's totally not what I want. So let's say detach. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, again, I am going to add a punch. And where's my punches? Right here, add a punch. And I am going to create a shape again so that I can attach the text to the punch. And this time I am using a square, and I'm going to say edit shape. Believe it or not, I really did use a square for this. Okay, so I brought in the side, and then on this side I want to add a point. And I'm kind of doing this to the side here so I can see the shape that I want. And let's see, it goes about like that. And then it kind of goes like this. I had to play with this a little bit so that it was about the right shape. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe it's angled too much, but I think I can work with it. So I'm just going to say okay. And I'm going to call this triangle, shape. I'm just going to say 5 to be safe here because I can't remember how many of these I did. Okay, then just to test it, put it over the other one. You can see that my angle's a little off. So in order to fix that, I think if I squish it a little bit, yeah, that I can line it up. And then I'm going to lengthen it. See, obviously you may need to play with this a little bit to get it just right, but you can manipulate it so it looks pretty good. Then I hit shift and I highlighted my text, Now I'm going to right click and say attach to shape. So there